But something about this place felt familiar with some place I came from. Or not came from, but I don't know. It's kind of like a heritage or something. I don't know. I can't really explain exactly how this felt. Okay. But it was something I had a familiarity about, so to speak. Okay. In a sense. Okay. But in a different setting, but it was something about this that was familiar in a sense. But so anyway, then I saw these people that were basically in hiding or something. This specific. So I don't know if they were in hiding or what, because it kind of felt like it was their house or something. It was something that belonged to them, the place they were chill. But there were other these kind of like I said, I don't know if it was the next house or inside that house. I don't know. It was kind of like a big important meeting, like I said, because something had to be decided. Excuse me. So, um, so yeah, that was part of the dream. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into detail everything what I saw and experienced after those specific scenes of the dream, and how they're more. But I think kittens, that were young little kittens and then medium. So anyway, and then I saw this man, okay, that was in that place, but for some reason he was impeached. He couldn't talk, not because he didn't want to, but I think he felt intimidated too about something. But anyway, that was other, part of the scene. But oops, there's something right here. But anyway, it was, at the end, it was kind of a must resolution for whatever the decision of it these other people, okay, were there for. Okay. And the kittens, like I said, I don't think they were inside. They were mostly outside. I think maybe few inside. I'm not sure. But for the most part, I saw all of them outside. Okay. So anyway, for what I get of part of the dream, because like I said, that's not all of it. Um because what sticks out to me is the dramatic part, right? Like the kittens and the cats. And I know, kittens have to do with something or someone at a young age. And there were different stages of all kinds of cats, right? Cats, are free spirited spirits, or it could be rebellious spirits, or also can signify witchcraft as well. It depends what kind of scenario of these kittens were. But for some reason, like I said, I felt bad for all what was happening, right? Because there were many of them that were being shot by these violent attack of branches like arrows. Anyway, so and for some reason, like I said, this on-site place was just right next to this huge place and house and type of meeting, blah blah blah, right? um but I don't know. I mean, I think the reason that many of the kids were not as much as hurt as many other ones, but many of them were like there was no hope. Many of them right there in their die, but many of them, they were so tormented in their heads that it was just impossible to save them. It was just a matter of time for them, just to wait for them to just die, pretty much. because, like I said, this event happened just out of the blue suddenly, like a sudden storm broke out and started shooting, all these, kind of like when the hail falls, it breaks all these twigs and branches and they fall violently, like storms do, right? All of a sudden. And they had no chance of survival, many of them. And I was, going, kind of like a zigzag type of, going jumping so that way nothing hit me. And thank God nothing hit me. But I felt really, really bad, for these cats. And anyway, so what I get, from the bits and pieces that I'm sharing, because I'm not gonna share all of it, okay, and how it ends. So again, what I get from the dream is that this could be because these kittens were connected on the side or outside of this house or place, okay, and then they were actually humans meeting in this house, right, beside the, I would call these kittens were outsiders. They were probably not part of the house, but yet they were some type of way connected to it, but were being affected because they had no protection inside this house, or not a house, but someone, or something to protect them. It was just suddenly was destruction everywhere. So yeah, I think these are people, youngsters. And as usual, I was observing all these things. And I was not engaging because I happened to just, I guess, be there like a bystander type of thing, observing all these different places and the scenarios, but I was not part of it, but yet like a bystander type of thing, right? So I had no part in any of those scenarios. The outsiders, the insiders of this house, and these other people, all of them, all of that was foreign in a sense because I had no connection with any of these things or people or cats or whatever. But I was just there like a bystander, so to speak. But it was, horrible to experience that a scenario, with the kids. So anyway, I think, many of them, the ones that were hit violently and very horribly in their heads, were, I think it's psychologically in their minds. I mean, I don't know exactly why these cats were differently attacked by these other cats that were attacked or shot by these, sharp branches, right, in their bodies. And many of them died just right there and there, right? But the ones that survived, okay, had, this torment. They couldn't, I wanted to help some cats in with this thing in their head. So anyway, I had two choices for the ones that were attacked horribly in their minds with these branches. I wanted to take it out of their heads, but it was so thick and so, penetrated in their heads that I was like, there's no hope for these cats. They're gonna have to be tormented because they were going like this, right? They're trying to shake off whatever the trauma, whatever these branches were, right? And they were going like this, and I was like so sad, in my heart. I was like, oh no. But at the same time I was going like this because arrows were falling everywhere, killing all these. And then I was like, I was wanting to help, but at the same time I couldn't because I already knew that many of them were not gonna make it. So anyway, like I said, these cats were outsiders because they were outside on this on-site place that I tried to describe earlier. So so yeah, that was part of the dream, and I had other dreams which I'll pray about if I should share or not. But that's what I get, about you know, I believe these kitties or kittens and older kittens are people of all ages. Many of them are innocent bystanders that happen to be there. Many of them, I mean, I think all of them were kind of in a sense, but they didn't expect all these storm and violently to break out all of a sudden. And me too, I was like a bystander as well as in there. So anyway, I saw, some faces that were unknown to me, but there were this couple that were kind of known, like I said, like an acquaintance type of thing. Because I mean, I had no relationship, but I knew them from the distance type of thing. Those are the only ones that I can remember, and most of them were unfamiliar to me, but many of them were good people too, that were in this huge gathering or meeting, something that, like I said, needed to be decided. And on the other side, because I think there was a house next to this other house, which there were these people that were not explaining me, but telling me about something. And yeah, they were having me in their dining room. It felt good. So anyway, um, to make the story short, because I've been talking too much now. But you know, if these are people, especially of all ages, I pray that um, whatever is gonna happen suddenly, that hopefully many of these spirits, kittens, people can make it. Really, I really do. And many of them, unfortunately, will not make it, just like the dream. Okay, and many of them was just a matter of time. But I could feel the torment that many of them were being tormented, right? Because it felt like I said, kind of like judgment. Because the storms talk about judgment, right? And I think, these are metaphorically speaking. I mean, it could be literal. I don't know, because I seen many of my dreams that were literal dreams, right? But in this sense, in this scenario, I have a feeling as metaphorically speaking, like parables, obviously, which I understand, and I already see many things that I can get about this dream and the interpretation of what is to come, because God shows us what is to come and gives us the scoop before it happens many times. At least he does to me. So anyway, I've been pondering about these things. Yes, I did. So anyway, I've been pondering about that and many other ones, which obviously I am not gonna share. Excuse me, I what these other dreams are. Like I said, I haven't had these okay to share many of them, but just this one randomly, I just felt like sharing because I just felt like it, right? When when to share, when not to. And in this case, like I said, this is not all this dream, is just part of the dream. And many other ones, which I'm not going to talk about it yet, or maybe I will not. I'm just going to observe to what's up next, which I usually do, right?